Hey guys, how's it going? I'm XYZ Cruncher. Just before I start with the video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe and share if you enjoyed the video, and leave some feedback in the comments below. It helps me out a lot and it just helps me improve the content, I guess. I can't fucking speak today. This is going to be a fucking nightmare. So I haven't done one of these in a while. Welcome to another episode of Random Ramblings. I'm just going to go off the cuff like I always do and kind of do a redux of a video I made a while back where I was talking about my thoughts and predictions for Animal Crossing Switch. This was way before it was announced, and since then we've pretty much still got no fucking news other than the little reveal trailer. But you know what, fuck it, let's just get in. I'll get the obvious ones out of the way first. Obviously more fish, bugs, fossils, all of that stuff. It's kind of self-explanatory. If they don't add this, I'll be really shocked. Unless they add a bunch more features, I don't really think they'd like do less than New Leaf or the same amount as New Leaf. I think there'd at least be maybe 10 more for each like archetype, like deep sea creatures, fish, bugs, all of that. One thing a lot of people have been asking for, and personally I don't mind if it doesn't come back or not, but it would add a lot more like flash to all of the towns that will be made, is layered towns. Basically, since the original Animal Crossing and in City Folk, I think is the only other game that has done it, is basically you'd have hills and the towns would be layered. If you've played the games, you know what I'm on about. The handheld ones haven't had that, so this game would most definitely have layered towns again and have hills or like some sort of like elevation, you know, to kind of separate and segment the town and maybe create acres again. I don't know if they'd implement acres again, but it's a fair shot. I think it will be in the new game. Bigger towns is also a really obvious one. It's a console, it's not a handheld anymore like on the 3DS, so it's not going to be New Leaf sized towns, it's going to be much bigger towns. But I feel like maybe we should have a town size option, so if you prefer the smaller towns, have the smaller towns or like standard, maybe standard size, and then maybe a medium size and then a really big size, so you can have like as many villages as you want, because some people prefer like having a smaller town so they can focus on maybe keeping all of the flowers alive in that part of the in that part of the town, or like they can have like smaller segments that they can kind of take care of. And personally I prefer like really big towns, so maybe having the option just so people aren't alienated would be a great option. And yeah, having more villages, having the option to have more villages would be another great addition, so I'm just going to throw that in. Maybe I've heard some people say 15 or 20. I think that might be a bit much, but I wouldn't really be too bothered either way, because in New Leaf I kind of de-associated and I just kind of did my own thing and kind of just tried to expand my house. I never got very far, but yeah, it's just because I always restart the towns. But enough of that, on to the next one. I've heard this one a lot and it is actually a great idea. It's the option to map out town designs. A lot of people say there's nothing worse than when you've got like your whole thing sorted out, your whole layout of your town sorted out, you've got your house, and you've got everything set up around it, you've got a bunch of bushes and trees and whatever, and then like some fucking villager just randomly smack bang like right next to where you wanted to put a public works project, or like right next to your house where you just didn't want anything to be there. Like a villager just moves in and like ruins your whole fucking plans, and then even if you love that villager, you end up hating them because they kind of ruined your plan and your flow for the town. So having the option to maybe pick and choose where villager houses are, where certain shops are, like retail and all of that, would be a great option. Another thing that I think should be implemented is the option to maybe choose if you want your town randomly generated, or if you want to actually design the town and map out what you want in the town, because I feel like some people just don't want to go through that whole creation process. And yeah, I guess if need be, having a randomized option would definitely help some of those less creative players possibly. So yeah, more shops and special villages is a no-brainer, because I mean I think they've added new ones for pretty much every main installment of the game, even some spin-offs like Pocket Camp and Happy Home Designer. I don't think Amiibo Festival implemented any new ones or introduced any new ones, but yeah, we don't talk about that game. But yeah, I don't know what kind of new shops we'd maybe have, but having new ones would definitely help a lot. This is a big one for a lot of people, and I personally never really used it, but being able to set down paths, which is like something that people used to do when they just make designs and kind of mimic what a path or like some brick layering on the floor would look like. I think maybe having official like proper paths that would like actually not stick out like a sore thumb next to all of the grass and all of the greenery in the towns that is already there would probably be a great option, especially in HD, because if you're putting down designs in HD on the Switch, it is going to look fucking ugly. So having proper paths, either if as a public works project or like just having the option to do so if you so please, would probably make kind of a process more streamlined. Obviously they can kind of streamline it more than just plopping down the designs and like maybe mapping out where they want all of the paths to go on maybe a little map or whatever, but yeah, having that option would definitely help out a lot of players who like to be a little more creative with their town designs and the like. I've heard a lot of people talk about bat and otter villages. I'm not too fussed with what new types of villages are implemented because I love frogs. Frogs are already there, and I also love turtles and tortoises, but like they're kind of already there as well with Tortimer, but maybe some more of those would be pretty cool. Bat and otter villages would also be really good. But yeah, also this kind of goes into the next one, more villager or villager type specific behaviours. Fucking hell, I can't speak today. So say for example, like the people want otter villagers, maybe they hang around watery areas like around the beach or maybe near rivers and lakes more so than the regular villager. Bats are nocturnal, you know, owls are nocturnal, stuff like that. I don't know if they'd add more owls or maybe more turtles or whatever, but yeah, I think it'd be cool if they did. And having villager specific behaviours or kind of they kind of do have like villagers type specific maybe catchphrases, I guess you can call them, but yeah, having the behaviours would definitely add a new dimension to the game and maybe immerse the players a little more. A lot of people have said mini games like knitting, bringing back, you know, playing ball games like football and basketball or soccer or whatever would be really good. The island tours weren't the best, but I think with the Switch there's a lot more capabilities that could go into doing that. I'm not going to go into specifics just because this video will stretch on too long if I do, and this is supposed to be kind of like a quick, concise, non-scripted thing. But yeah, I think maybe adding a couple more mini games could maybe break up the pace and help with a lot of the monotony that is that comes with playing Animal Crossing, because for some people just designing clothes and, you know, working on their town and like paying the mortgage doesn't really seem too appealing, and having the island tours for some people was a little nice change of pace. I personally did like the island tours, so that is definitely an option that should be there. Being able to stack more items like equipment, you could do it with fruit in New Leaf, but being able to stack equipment, maybe having like a little toolbox and you can just put all of your items in there, and it just takes up one slot rather than like 5 slots with like an axe, a shovel, whatever else. It would probably be a really good addition, and like a lot of people do tend to carry a lot of stuff with their pockets. Also, a side note, maybe increasing the wallet capacity or wallet size or whatever you want to call it, because fucking hell, sometimes if you have a lot of bells on you, the wallet capacity is not fucking helpful, especially if in New Leaf, if you like sold all of the fucking fish or whatever and from the island, all of the rare tropical fish, and you'd just have a bunch of fucking money just in your pocket rather in the wallet. It wasn't always a massive problem, but for some people it might be, so maybe eradicating that problem would maybe make the game a little more streamlined, a little better for certain players. More public works projects and other ways to maybe change up the town and kind of edit the town would also be a really good addition. Also having the option to move them around and like change them around, change angles, maybe edit them a little bit, change maybe coloration, you know, other options like that would really entice players to maybe pick up the game, because Animal Crossing while the minimalist ideas behind a lot of what Animal Crossing has in it is really cool, a lot of people do want to kind of leave that behind. I personally wouldn't mind keeping that simplistic stuff, but sometimes it does feel a little archaic and a little restrictive, so maybe having certain options like that would help engross a lot more players and, you know, keep them coming back to the game and maybe buying amiibo cards and DLC and stuff like that. I probably wouldn't be too into DLC, but amiibo cards I'm all for because a lot of people do love collecting them. Weather conditions and effects are another really big one that a lot of people have been talking about. I don't know why, because I mean there have been rain specific or like snow specific bugs and fish or whatever, like season specific ones, but maybe more weather specific conditions and effects, and like maybe certain types of bugs and fish and whatever else just come out in those types of, you know, weather, and other types of, you know, other time like they do with times of day and season. Sorry, I can't fucking speak today, but yeah, having them on the weather based on the weather condition would probably be a really good idea, but being able to implement that would probably be a bit of a task, or thinking of ways to implement that would be an even bigger task. So because I'm drawing a fucking blank here, I'll give some examples of how they could do that. And in harsher weather conditions that could be very restrictive, so I don't think it would be in the game, but maybe having that in the game and having it not be super negative all the time, especially with like heavy hail or snow or rain or whatever, you know, maybe could be, if they can find a way around making it kind of detrimental to the player but also beneficial in another way, could probably be really, if they manage to do that, it would be fucking amazing, it would be really good. But yeah, I'll leave that one at that. And the final one I could think of was bigger houses for villagers. All villagers seem to have the same house, and they all have that same one medium level, like the second upgrade from like the base house that you get, or like the second house that you get if you're playing New Leaf, because you start off with the little tent and then you go to the main house and then to the third level with like a slightly expanded, like a medium one room thing. I don't know if they changed that in New Leaf, but I do remember it being quite small, so maybe it was just the second upgrade from the house. But yeah, it never made sense to me why that was a thing, but if villagers maybe, as the town maybe got richer, or like it kind of became more appealing, had more public works projects or whatever, maybe their houses get bigger and like increase in size. There are some ways they could implement that. And I think it would be really good and be a really good option and kind of implementation to the somewhat tired formula. But it's not a massive change, but it would kind of maybe immerse the players a little more, like a lot of these do. But yeah, I think it would be cool. It's not I kind of left it at last because it's not maybe a do or die type of thing. But yeah, it would engross players a lot more, so I don't see why they wouldn't include it. Another bonus one I kind of forgot about, which I can't believe I didn't put on the list, that I did in my last video, last time I did this, summer of last year I think it was including a job system. A lot of people did enjoy working for Nook, Brewster and all of them, and kind of doing the little odd jobs around, you know, around the town or whatever. How they go about this and how they'd implement it is kind of up in the air. I'm not sure how they'd do it, but if they find a way to do it and make it good and make it fun, a lot of people would love it, and it would just be a great addition. So I guess maybe adding a job system is something they should really consider. But anyway guys, that's enough out of me. Did I forget any? If I did, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Like I said at the start of the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, share and all of that good shit. And yeah, I should have another video coming out maybe later in the week, during the weekend, or maybe on Monday. I'm going to try and like have a slightly more consistent upload schedule, but right now my schedule is one video every other week, just to stop fatigue and stuff like that. But I will try and like kind of hammer down and make more quality content and make more videos. Feel free to check out some of my other videos that I'll kind of leave links to here at the end of the video. Yeah, I do reviews every... I don't really have a schedule for the reviews, but yeah, my next review should be up sometime next month, probably. So I guess you can look forward to that. But yeah, anyway, guys, I've been XYZ Cruncher. Stay cool, stay safe, stay crunchy, and I'm out. Peace.